Vancouver Canucks beat reporter for the province and Post Media. Also author of the new book, Gino, alongside Gino's fast friend Peter Leach. There was a book launch party last night at the BC Sports Hall of Fame. Thank you to Jason Beck and everybody.
This book is going to do so well. It's going to put you in there on your own.
I got my copy last night. You should get your copy of Gino. He did a reading of it last night. Peter made a speech as well. Members of the Odjick family were there. Well, that was Hard Joe Hall who snapped the photo of the day of Peach. And for the very affordable price of $39.95, I might add as well. Awesome night last night, buddy. Congratulations. It was love seeing you bask in the sun there and have a moment before the community.
Yeah, it was great. It was lovely. Thanks to you, Matt, for being there, and lots of other faces in the crowd. And it was great. And I mean, obviously the highlight I think for me was Peter with his beautiful singing tribute to Gino. Yeah. Singing his traditional. If you don't know
Peter Leach, we should mention Peter was Gino's manager. Peter was Gino's right hand. Peter was, I mean, he said yesterday, we were more than friends. We were brothers. We were inseparable. We did just about everything together. So he's your co-author there. And I know your publisher was there as well. Yeah. It was a marvelous, marvelous night. So thank you for the invite, putting it on.
Hey, it's great having you guys.
Hey, get in.
By the way, I just want to give you a couple errors and omissions right off the top.
Oh, please do.
Like you mentioned towns in Alaska. I mean, we can talk about Alert. Alert has not had. I was looked this up while I was waiting. Alert has not seen the sunshine since October 14th.
Oh, so, boy.
There's a whole list of Canadian cities or towns you could mention.
Fair enough.
They should cities is strong.
Well, that's all fair, good, and accurate. But they really got to work on their social media posting because Barrow, Alaska, is really knocking it out of the park here.
And then the other one was like, I mean, come on, the Dallas Mavericks aren't just owned by a quote Vegas developer. They're owned by Miriam Adelson, who that's the big orange guy.
The widow of Sheldon Adelson, who was big on the Trump campaign finance.
Yeah, why did
dramatic change in worldview from Mark?
Yeah, exactly. I was going to segue via a Gino like character. Having somebody to kick them in the pants at home would be helpful here, Peach. Like.
Well, this game should get their attention, right?
Create some excitement for Canucks fans, for heaven's sakes. Like 3 wins at home thus far. I mean, if you're a season ticket holder that goes to every game, the return on investment is not there right now.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose if you're looking for like good things to point to and say, listen, here is a chance. Here is why they will start winning some games. It's because they get the matchups, and that means you can put Elias Pettersson and Quinn Hughes and Phil Pronik. All 3 of them. I mean, I wrote about the first 2, but Phil Bronick deserves some love here. And I know Daniel Wagner's writing something about him in the next day or 2 here. But listen, the Canucks have been pretty good when their 2-3 stars are on the ice. And Adam Foote talked about this yesterday. I asked him about it, and he said, listen, like there's a lot of learning going on. His take is that the guys, especially the younger players, you look at that young, the Elias Junior Pettersson and Tom Willander, which a pairing they've not been afraid to use. But, there's some young guys that need to pick it up yet. Guys they're leaning on. You look at the Calder Cup line. Again, they're not playing a ton, but those guys have a role, and on and on and on. This is a team that Adam Foote believes is working towards something that will be better. But you're absolutely right. In the here and now, fans are paying a lot of money, and fans want to see wins. And Elias Pettersson has 8 in 4 games. Quinn Hughes has 10 in 3. Like, there is good things happening, but the problem is when those guys are not on the ice.
But look at the ice time. Look at the ice time in those 3-4 games for the players we just mentioned. It finally got super gaudy for all of them, right? Like, just we've seen this in years gone by for one-line teams where the coach just keeps throwing them. He didn't do that early on. He's starting to do that now with Pettersson's ice time well above 20 now on several occasions. But it took them a while to get there, and that's just what you have to do right now with this team, with their injuries. Like, just throw the best guys over the boards in an inordinate amount of time, no?
Well, and as Matt mentioned, like they finally got a rest. I mean, they have 2 days. I mean, they traveled home, but they traveled home on what day are we? This is Thursday. They traveled home on Tuesday. Had nothing going. Practice yesterday. Pretty light skate this morning. They're off again tomorrow. Practice Saturday. Game Sunday. I think practice Monday, travel Tuesday, I think is what it was. I was just looking at the schedule before this. So, they finally get to lighten the load. So if there's a game you are just going to play Quinn Hughes for half the game, it is tonight. Like there is usually been no rest for the Wicked here, but there is definitely rest to be had for once, because that has been a hard truth of this season, no matter what, across the board. And the ability to recover, right? Like it's such an important thing. And this is true of most teams in the league, but especially so for the Canucks, who played 17 games in their first 30 days. That's an impossible schedule to sustain. Like no team is going to get through that all right. And so, the Canucks here now have a moment to catch their breath. Obviously, they go on the road and play another quick road trip that involves 4 games in 6 days, if I have it right, including the final one at altitude in Colorado. It's a grinding, tough schedule, but if there's a night you need to target and circle and say, we are going to do everything we can to juice our opportunities, it is against the Dallas Stars.
Do you believe Elias Pettersson is all the way back?
I think so. I mean, Jay Pat and I were talking about this the other day. If you look at the on-ice shooting percentage of Evander Kane, who is Elias Pettersson's primary winger these days, it is rather low. Now, the fact that Kane is the un-Rick Tocchet and willing to shoot the puck from everywhere probably has something to do with that. But the truth is, fundamentally, the long-run reality is what we know is that you should be scoring about 9-10% of the time. Your team that's just how it goes. And if you are below that, you are unlucky. And if you are above that, you are lucky. And Elias Pettersson has been riding a low on-ice shooting percentage for his team for much of the season. So the fact that pucks are starting to go in and they're coming in off his stick is a good sign. Now, he's still not shooting enough. If he shot more, they would be a lot further ahead. But no, I think he is. That second goal he scored, just the way he's been going, and we talked about this, but in general, he's just been going to the net. But the way he carried the puck with confidence into the slot. Adam Foote also brought this up today. It wasn't wrong to bring it up today. That to him is a sign of a player that has found his way back. I think he really has. He's obviously relishing all the face-offs. I talked to him a little bit yesterday about just where things are at and how things are going so well. And it was funny. He kind of bristled a little bit and said, "Are you surprised that Quinn Hughes is playing well?" I said, "No, but what's going so well?" Because it really stands out right now. And, for him, Quinn is playing so well because he's being aggressive. Well, I would argue that the reason why Pettersson is playing so well is because he's being aggressive. I find it funny he's getting lauded for all these blocked shots. I will remind us all of the great former Flames Nation blogger Kent Wilson's line, which that blocking shots is fine, but it's like killing rats. You'd rather not do it. So it's a sign that he does not have the puck. Mm-hmm. But lately they've had the puck a lot more and they are scoring, and that's a good sign. Like I said, again, this is a night to juice the ice time for your best players and just get right after it. Approach it like a playoff game.
Hey, let me ask you this, because they were such oil and water, mortal enemies, if you will, in the room. Do you think JT struggles in New York help Elias?
Like as a motivational thing?
No, not as a motivational thing. More in terms of if JT was scorching right now,
right,
we'd all know the story. Look, we'd all be paying attention, right, and talking about it. But that he doesn't have to look over and see a guy leading his team in scoring, point per game, everything.
There's a little redemption there.
Yeah, that JT, was when he was a 99 and 100-point guy. That he's not that player anymore in New York. Do you think that helps him? That he doesn't have to hear noise about how good JT is performing?
Well, I mean, 23-24, they were both firing on all cylinders, and then something happened, as I've discussed many times. We don't whether it was between them or whether it was simply physical for Pettersson. They both they managed to be around each other fine until they didn't. Mm-hmm. And I think it's just much more simple. Like this, he's a healthier player. He's a more sort of centered player, emotionally and mentally. And I think there's the pattern of success element to this as well. He had a bit of a slow build up to the start of the season, but he kept doing things right. And he started getting some results. And they did finally find him a wing. I mean, the Kane story has many layers to it. I am not arguing that Elias Pettersson is doing great because he has Evander Kane with him, but Evander Kane has clearly built some chemistry with Pettersson. And so sort of having some stability there, like it or not, what Evander Kane's going to do. I think the whole thing has added up to just that's why he's playing well. Like he's just found his way. He talked about, I need to get back to myself. And that's a guy doing, I asked him before the season, what do you mean by that? And that's a guy that's skating with the puck and that's attacking lanes and all the things he's doing right now. It for him really, I think, just became a story about getting back to himself. And, they always talk about ignoring the noise and what have you. I mean, Quinn Hughes said it right. I said this, I think, yesterday, and he said, ignoring the noise in my head, my own kind of self-doubts and whatever. And I do think there's an element of Pettersson's success that is exactly that. Like,
yep.
He probably has been prone to listening to what we're saying too much. He never should. The other thing, why people are frustrated. Like I'm just saying, he should understand what the fans want, and that's our job. And he needs to sort of appreciate that. But I think more than anything, he needs to focus in on what makes him good, and he's doing that right now.
Well, and you'll remember it was just about just past a year ago, Patrick, where Elias said, "Hey, I'm no longer on social media. It's working better for me, particularly for my life. I'm getting more stuff done. I don't sit there and just scroll all day." And like now, because we've been following Caitlin Bird, his new wife, and she is prolific on social media. It just looks like a nice, fun, happy newlywed couple. I mean, they're decorating the home for Christmas. They got the dog there. Like they've got
jokes.
You're going home to purpose, right? As opposed to going home to an empty apartment and being alone with your thoughts about how much you're struggling.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's certainly an element to that. There's the sort of the stability in life and knowing who you are and who you're with and who you're spending time with and all that. Like he is 27. It's kind of amazing.
It is
27, right? 26.
Yeah, gosh. Yeah, 27, I think. Yeah,
27.
Well, he just had his 20th birthday.
Yeah,
he's about to play his. He's 8 games shy of 500, right? Like you guys were talking about scoring. He's 8 games shy of his 500th NHL game, right? Like he's just. It's kind of amazing how long he's been at this here. I mean, this is a city he's always liked and he's wanted to be, and I think obviously the last 18 months. Weren't what he wanted them to be. Quite simple. And
he's the first line center. First line center. Let's talk about the second line center. Matt says we're not allowed to judge David Kampf after one game. Can we judge him after this one?
Well, I mean, listen, we know what he is. That he doesn't have a lot of offense. That's not his game. When I messaged with JP Barry on the weekend about why the Canucks, JP said, well, here's what he brings. He's a defensive center. That's what he does. So, I mean, to him be the second line center right now is a reminder of that hole there. I mean, and part of me was sitting here going, when we talked about Teddy Bluger yesterday, and it sounded, oh, wow, he's not going to be back for a while. And then, of course, he skates today. So completely changed my thought line. But I said, well, if Bluger's out for a while, then it makes a lot more sense to time Camp because, clearly he's going to be your fourth or checking center or whatever you want to call him. I mean, listen, he is what he is, and they need more offense from the center ice position behind Pettersson, and it's not going to be David Kampf. Let's be clear. He will help kill penalties, and he will probably win some faceoffs. But this is not a solution to juice the thing. Now, of course, like I said, I referenced the conversation with Pettersson yesterday. And, he said, well, media only cares about points. And I said, no, that's not what we're talking about. But you are scoring, I didn't counter with him. Well, but Elias, you can't win if you don't have goals, right? Now, they have been scoring. This is the crazy thing about this team. They are 6th in the league in goals for. The problem is they're last in the league in goals against.
Yeah.
So square that one.
Yeah. But what are Besser and Garland thinking about David Kampf? Like they're the ones that have to play with them.
I think Besser and Garland are thinking, you and me, bro. Yeah. We've got to create the goals. Yeah.
4.5 v5.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of those moments where, is it time? I mean, should they think about Connor Garland as a center? You know what I mean? Like are there guys?
Are you worse off?
Honestly, we're in more expensive not to. We're also in experimentation territory. If you get worked down the middle again tonight, I think you got to look at something. Finishing on a list.
I was going to say, just get creative. You don't even have to have Garland take the face-offs. He can just be the guy that plays in the middle.
Yeah.
Hey, and I forget the exact wording, but the Canucks put out a post about Elias Pettersson, which was a reference to his critics.
Look what you made me do.
Yeah,
made him do.
Like that. So, I think, look, if Canucks fans want to spike the football because Elias is back and all that, and media wants to talk about it, I thought that was an interesting tact in-house to go there. I'm not sure I would have. Is everything cleared through the upper channels of senior management that goes on Canucks Twitter, Patrick? Because that's one I sort of wonder. We don't really need to go there. What's the benefit of that one?
Well, they never claim they're on social media anyway, so they don't. None of the players see it. So moving on.
Of course.
No, exactly. Doesn't happen.
Okay. Do you have anything further for him, or do you just want to
I've grilled him
once again?
Do you want to talk about Whitecap's schedule and being on the road for a month in May? And
well, of course they were. First of all, we just saw that drop. I haven't had.
I know it literally dropped after you guys started. I know
exactly. So I will just
2 full months off. 2 full months off.
Yeah. Well, World Cup.
I know it's just as hard to wrap your head around a league taking 2 months off.
They're gonna be taking 2 months off on the regular when they move to this new godforsaken schedule. So here's the book, Gino. Make sure you go out and get one for the Canucks fan. Leave them something under the tree or in the stocking for next.
There's a whole bunch. I'll just say this: there's a whole bunch of signed copies down at the BC Sports Hall of Fame. Which, by the way, thanks Smith for hosting. And absolutely, a highly underrated museum. Great stuff for the kids.
Yeah.
My wife, our kids were there, and some of our friends' kids were there, and they discovered the back room. Unfortunately, a little bit late in the event, but they were all having a wildly fun time with the climbing wall and the sprint test, and you can see the field. They got to watch the guy paint the lines.
Oh wow!
Go see the sports page artifacts.
They literally, the sports page exactly. There's a marvelous Gino section. There's a section about the Marilomas.
I saw that. In fact, you were right near there when you were giving your speech last night.
Yeah, well, and Farah and I had our picture because we're both old Lomas. So there we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I got to say, it was also fantastic catching up with a lot of the. I mean, I got to say, people like you. They really, really like you. Because the turnout yesterday was fantastic, Blake.
Yeah, it was great.
Ed
Stanley
Willis, Paul Chapman, Ed Willis, Kuzma from the province, your compadres. Yeah. Gallagher couldn't be there. Apparently, he is traveling. But Stan Smeal was there. It was great catching up with Stan Smeal and Mike Hall of ex of Canucks Sports Entertainment, Chris Gear, ex of Canucks Sports Entertainment. So there was. There was a fantastic media turnout and public turnout, so I was very pleased for you. Congratulations again, buddy, on the book. Well done.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Thanks, guys. It's always great. Thanks for the support, and always a pleasure to be here.
Of course.
Yeah, he signed my copy as well.
I would hope.
That's Patrick Johnston, everybody.
See you, buddy.
Who joins us usually each and every Thursday. Thank you for that, Patrick.